Somebody say joy. Joy.
Joy.
Joy come in the morning. Joy come in the afternoon. Joy come in the day. Because what you need today on this Sunday rise,
Take
baby,
your time. Take your time.
it is a little joy if you turn to your neighbor and say he will do it. Because he gonna do it. He gonna make it happen. He gonna make a way. And on this Sunday morning at the Sideline Junkies, Sunday rise, we gonna make a way because his way is the path and his way is the light. And there's only one way to see the light is to start your week off right with the Sideline Junkies Sunday morning, Sunday rise. And with that being said,
y'all hear that? The collection is going around early. We just started. The collection plate already moving, baby.
And with that being said, this is the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. It's the Sunday Rise. I'm the Midnight Rider. That's the Boss Man B. That's the big guy KG. And we're going to come here and provide you with the information you need. All the joy and all the possibilities that love will exceed as we proceed through the sports world today. We're going to talk to you about a couple things. We got the Scouting Combine. We got Wrestling Regional Finals from Maryland. We got Elimination Chamber updates because we're going to faction in. We're going to put them in a portal and bring in some love from the WrestleManiacs from last night. We're gonna do some things that we got the Three Amigos. That's our college basketball preview. And I don't know if you know, but what we do is what we do, and when we do it, in the words of the great Kanye West, we do dope shit. And with that being said, this is the Sunday Rise, brought to you by the Sideline Junkies. Again, I am the Midnight Rider. I do dope shit. And I'm anchored by the Boss B, the big guy KG. And the big guy KG is going to be your host today. So when you want to get in where you fit in, if you want to do what you got to do, but you don't want to break her heart, the big guy KG got you because he's going to guide you through. He's going to be the vessel to lead you to the promised land that is the sports glory, that is the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Take it away, bro.
Well, thank you for that rousing introduction. Man, this is one of them things like once the lights come on, you start to feel that energy flowing. Yeah. So good morning to everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Rise. Got a lot to get into today, and I'm here for it. So Midnight Rider, you said the first thing was Elimination Chamber update. So let's start there.
Hold. I think hold on. Let me see. You talking about this? WWE Elimination Chamber?
I mean, just cut you cut yourself off the screen.
I don't mind that. I ain't gotta be seen because they everybody knows. See what you don't want to get.
I need my full ensemble on the screen. Like, I don't know what this is right here. I need to be seen.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
I'm joking. Oh, KG, give us an update on the Elimination Chamber, please.
Oh man, I had it loaded in here too. I had an actual overlay of it loaded in.
Sure you did.
That's what she said.
Loaded.
Oh, that okay.
I had that thing loaded in. Always keep that thing on me, you know. A little CM Punk, little Finn Balor. Elimination Chamber was last night, and we talked about it on the Saturday Night WrestleManiacs right here on the place to be, the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. We were joined by the Four Corner Boys. After going back and forth with a couple of promos against each other, we rocked it last night, talked Elimination Chamber. Rhea Ripley wins your women elimination chamber. Kind of, sort of, not surprising. So she'll face Jade Cargill in 48 days now at WrestleMania. AJ Lee walks into Chicago, walks out Women's Intercontinental Champion after beating the man Becky Lynch. CM Punk stole a night. And I got to elaborate a little bit when I say that. The arena got dark. And then the spotlights hit and you hear doom, 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 doom. That's my imitation of Sirius by the Alan Parsons Project. And if you're a Bulls fan from the 90s, you'll know what I mean. But not only did he have Sirius playing, he was introduced down to the ring by the legendary Ray Clay. And when he hit the stage, Cult of Personality hit and he walked to the ring. He stole the night with just a ring entrance. Then he wound up keeping his WWE Heavyweight Championship. And he will face Roman Reigns on, I don't know if it's going to be night 1 and night 2, but of WrestleMania.
That's night 2. That can't be night 1.
Then we get to the men's elimination chamber. You know, long entrances. You thought Trick Williams might take it. LA Knight, yeah, maybe. Cody,
yeah.
But the Viper, the apex predator himself, the man that hears voices, Randy Orton, is going to WrestleMania. He can taste reign number 15. So that was your elimination chamber from last night. Anything you want to add there, gentlemen? Anything you picked up on, you caught?
I think the injury to Bronson Reed changed some of this. I think that Randy Orton disallows Drew McIntyre to make it to SummerSlam as the champion, as opposed to him getting the belt taken off of him. So he extends the reign unless the reign ends next week in the match that is on SmackDown with Cody Rhodes. But I don't really foresee the Viper, even though we can hear the thoughts in his head and they talk to him. I don't see them making sense when it comes to taking the belt off the champion at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. That's going to be just an ultra physical match. I don't know if Jade has done enough to stay champion. You know, I'm not convinced by her character. She hasn't made me want to believe or in her words, feel the storm. So that's another situation where it could be precarious for the champion. When we walk that out, she may not or may walk away as a champion, but I'm not convinced that it's going to be in the affirmative for her to be the champion going forward, if that makes sense.
Ryder, let me stop you right there because I want you to elaborate on it a little bit more. So watching the WrestleManiacs last night, and the big guy KG said, you know, we had special guests on last night in the four corners of wrestling with Hollywood Mike T, J Will, King Mel. Shout out to them guys. Shout out to 613. And I heard some of what their concerns was with Jade. What do you have to see? Can she gain any ground to make her more believable in your eyes? What does she have to do?
She has to talk better. She has to make me believe that she is the physical specimen. And I think the part that she hasn't bought into is she is the physical specimen. She is the end all be all. Her conversation should never start with anything normal. Like, she should come down to the ring and every promo she cuts starts with, I am the woman you want to be, the woman you wish you could be, the woman that every man wants to be with.
So you
I am the antithesis of human being. I am what God made When God made human, he started with me. And from this day forth, you will acknowledge me or understand that I am the being that is the place to be, the person you want to be, and how people should be made. I am Jay Cargill. And if you don't get it and you don't understand it, I can't help you. I can't make you see the light. I can't make you see what's possible. But all I can do is make you see what is real. And that is me, Jay Cargill.
So you saying she needs some mic work with Bret Hart? Is that what you saying? Best it is, best it was, best it ever will be.
Hey, or she can come holler at me.
But you know what the crazy thing is? She can go down there and say it, but we all know because we've been watching wrestling for a long time.
She's also stiff.
And that's what I was going to say. You can say the right words. The words have to come out a certain way, at a certain tone, at a certain speed, with conviction. Like we've watched wrestling promos where you sitting in your seat like, shit, okay.
No, we never understood what the Ultimate Warrior was talking about. Oh, the raining lights and the starring echoes of whatever's going on, and it's tomorrow, but it's still today, and today the light is yesterday. Like, what are we talking about? But it's the Ultimate Warrior, and he's
the Ultimate Warrior. I'm about to say you felt the energy, and he was convinced about it, so he was convincing me. Yeah, I'm like, if tomorrow's today, then that goddamn it, tomorrow's today.
Hey, man, in the words of Rick James, cocaine is a powerful drug, and that's all I'm gonna say. Because the Ultimate Warrior's promos, good God, I had no idea. Woo! Him and then the Macho Man, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, baby, it's the Macho Man. I'm coming to you live from the echoes of eternity and the space where words don't make sense. But I'm the Macho Man, and it's gonna be what it's gonna be, baby. Cause I am what it is in this world. And what we gonna do today as I am your reigning champion, baby. Oh yeah. We're gonna snap into a Slim Jim. No, I'm sorry.
We can turn Sunday Rise into a full out promo off the break, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, I'm done. All right, let's go back. Let me get back.
Hold on. Because you say that about promos, and I was sitting here, I was waiting for y'all to finish. But if you don't talk about the cream rises to the top, and you got to start flicking little things of cream at the camera, or you got to bring out your coffee cup and say, cup of coffee, yeah. That's all Ricky the Dragon Steamboat has ever had in the big leagues. A cup of coffee, yeah. Probably two of the greatest promos.
I'll say this again before we move on. And I think it's part of the reason why I say this all the time with everything, where it's not as powerful as it once was because we have access to them all the time on Instagram and Facebook and X and TikTok. So you get to see the real life version of these people where you didn't get to see the real life version and follow Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior and Hall and Nash. You didn't get to see the like right now you get to see Kevin Nash talk on this podcast. Eric Bischoff in 83 weeks, you get to see their real personality. So now once you see that and you know that I always say that this isn't a good word, but now when you go see the show, you know it's fake and you know the real person, and your mind is like, well, this isn't, you know what I'm saying? Because you only got to saw one piece of the equation 30 years ago, 35, was it 30 years ago? When, let's say wrestling at its peak, whenever peak wrestling was.
You're right, like 30, 40 years ago. But I think the difference is now because we have so much information, like you will never Like the world doesn't allow us to have this jaded sense of who these people are, if that makes sense. Like we don't have the innocence. That's what I'll say. The world stole our innocence by giving
It
us
did. It did. It did, because you wouldn't have saw Bianca Belair's surgery and all. You wouldn't have seen all that. You would just it. I think it numbs it a little bit. It you show it's unfortunately for them. It gets you get to know them. You get to see the human part, and then I think it takes away from what you're trying to get Jade to do is be this monster in the ring. And if you see it real life, she's not a monster, so it's not translating. Your brain is like, I'm not connecting that because I've seen it in real life and it's not happening here. So
I think if we're using Jade as the moniker, I think part of that is just because of her delivery and her deliverance.
no, of course, yeah, absolutely.
She operates.
Absolutely.
I think like I still feel like Rhea Ripley is the boss. I still feel like Raquel Rodriguez is an animal. Like I feel those things because they still perpetrate those on camera. And what I'm supposed to buy into is their on camera persona. And they sell that to the nth degree. I can buy whatever Bianca Belair comes out as. And plus she's yeah, we ain't gonna get into that. But it's just there are things that you can sell me. You know, you can sell me on certain stipulations in terms of characters. Like I love Finn. I love Finn Balor being back to Finn Balor, and maybe that's because I want to do the because his intro is back to being his regular intro, and the you know you got you know I mean because if Sunday Rise or Tuesday Night Flight had a drink where I could I give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I do the Finn Balor in those moments, but I think there's the beauty of older wrestling fans is we understand what wrestling is, and we always have known what wrestling is. I think kids will consume it differently, but me being a 50-year-old wrestling fan, I still fall in love with the moments. Whether it's even though I know backstage I can see Triple H and them talking about the character development and everything, but I always still have, as a fan, a love for the intro. I have love for the promo. So I'm never going to lose that, no matter how much access you give me to them, if that makes sense.
No, it makes complete sense. And I was about to make a point real quick before we move on. And I think that's where WWE is, and wrestling in general, is losing its ground, because as wrestling fans of our age, I think we can distinguish between the real life version of the characters and their in-ring personas. But I think when you get the younger generation that's still developing their minds and who they want to be, when they see both versions of that, it's hard. We always say it's hard to flip that switch, and we didn't have to flip the switch 30 years ago. We got the switch as soon as the network came on. You didn't know about, during the Monday Night Wars, you didn't know about anybody's personal life too much. You know what I'm saying? You just got the switch flipped, and then it's time to come on, and the limo's coming on, and Hogan's coming out the limo, or Stone Cold's coming down. You didn't see him riding his ATVs on his ranch and all this other stuff. You didn't get to see a podcast with him. So us as 40-plus-year-old wrestling fans, I think we have a better time. We can flip that switch and, okay, it's wrestling time. It's the intro dropped, versus the younger fans having a tougher time doing that because they have so much access to everything.
I'd be curious, and I don't know if you saw if you saw the signal. That's a pin for us finding, like, maybe we find a podcast with some younger wrestling fans and like we get to understand what they see in their world because I'm curious now. Even if we get the what is it, the full up and the quads down, guys. Um, like, and I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. Um, but because I love it actually, I love the full up quads down because that's actually kind of dope. In my mind. But you guys already know me. I love a good bit. But yeah, I think we should like have that conversation on a deeper level, whether it's here or on the WrestleManiacs. I think that's a great question of like, are we losing? And I think we even had this conversation before, KG. Like maybe a year ago. Like, are we losing kayfabe because of the access we get?
Yeah, we talk about it on Saturday nights all the time. I don't like that. I'm sorry. We talk about it on Saturday nights all the time. Is kayfabe dead? And is it on life support? Like something. And social media is killing kayfabe, but it's also keeping you interested. So it's kind of
Right.
crazy. So, all right, gents, let's move around and go to Combine Talk.
Ooh, baby.
Now, what's crazy about Combine Talk? I got some things that I'd like to thump my chest about, but I'm gonna let you gentlemen start.
No. We always start. Me and Midnight Rider. We 22 minutes deep. We've been running our mouth,
Yes,
riding and cut two promos. All right, we giving the floor to our executive producer. Will you start off the Combine Talk? Because I got some numbers. Because the Combine is all about numbers, right? I got numbers to share with you guys. So I'll do that. KG, you got the floor, baby. Take it away.
And please let me go last because I think I am going to be the person that's going to talk the most. So let me go last.
Really?
Shocking, right?
What's absolutely crazy is every year we talk about the Combine, right? We talk about Midnight Rider not sleeping. We talking caffeine pills, no dose, energy drinks, because he goes through the whole Combine, breaks it down, and he can, like, let me give you your flowers. I started NFL team. I know BJ's gonna be my defensive coordinator. In the front office, I know I got the Midnight Rider heading up scouting, and he's gonna be in there talking to the GM, and the GM better listen, because if you don't know, folks, what was this 2 years ago? When I tell you the guy hit on almost every draft pick before the draft pick hit, he called Bo Nix 2 picks before Bo Nix got picked. Bo Nix is a Sean Payton guy. After that, I'm sold. This is my head of scouting. This is my GM. I know he got it tight, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price are showing their asses. Jeremiah Love ran a 4.39 in the 40, comparable to Jahmyr Gibbs, but he's probably made himself the first running back taken off the board. He should be gone no later than the 9th pick. That's if the Chiefs don't trade up. Now, Washington might surprise you and get Jeremiah Love, but I'm saying this speaking in PTSD. If they get Jeremiah Love, I hope it doesn't happen. It doesn't turn out the way it happened the last time Washington picked the Notre Dame running back and Reggie Brooks, because I was a big Reggie Brooks fan. I loved him here, but just didn't work out. But Jadarian Price, killing it. The tight end, Eli Reardon.
Yep.
One of your best tight ends in the combine right now. So I'm watching Notre Dame players, but I can't think of the receiver's name. It's a receiver. He went through the receiving drills, and the caption was making it look easy. And I looked at the video, and I was like,
"Is it a Notre Dame wide receiver?"
No, I don't remember what school he went to. I just know his first name was Troy, and I couldn't see it After that, it's like, you know how Twitter and Instagram, you looking at it and then all of a sudden it refreshes automatically. So it killed me.
Okay. Hey, real quick, KT, before you continue, because we got comments that go back to wrestling. So Tim Watkins, resident Boston Celtic fan, resident old school wrestling fan. He says the original Four Horsemen. Woo! The Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, and then some lady, some crazy person that's in the chat says wrestling is losing its luster because there's no more imagination.
The imagination is there. It's just
I think here's the thing, and I love this comment because this comment speaks to what I tell people all the time. Wrestling is built on certain chambers and categories, and there's always the friendship or the tag team, and the one partner is going to turn on the other person because of jealousy or fake jealousy or whatever it is. Like, you know, when the swerve is going to happen before the swerve is going to happen if you're a wrestling fan. And that's not a lack of imagination. That's just, it's the only way it can happen, if that makes sense. Like, you can't make butter without churning butter. You know what I'm saying? You got to churn the butter to get the butter. So the same thing in wrestling is there are certain things that have to happen. Like, you gotta play with the teat to get milk from the cow. It's that simple. You gotta hit them udders up to get milk. And if you don't, then you ain't getting milk. So that's the way wrestling works. If that makes sense.
She listening to you. She just dropped another comment.
That was more in reference for the fans. All right, I got you. But I'm just saying, I think when it comes to wrestling, we like, and I know the WrestleManiacs and the 613 boys have the same thing that I feel is like, we know when the swerve is happening, where the swerve might happen. Because if you ever listen to the WrestleManiacs, they are always on point with what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and when it's going to happen. And they probably are still waiting for royalties on the checks that the WWE owes them for the things that they predict and it's going to happen. And then here we go. Coach Powell. Good morning, fellas. See, I think the combine has lost some of its relevance because of the extreme push to commercialize it. Personally, Coach, I don't think so. I love the combine. I'm the wrong guy to talk about the combine too, because I got the combine recorded right now, and when we finish this show, if I'm not watching women's basketball, I'm watching the combine. So I'm the wrong guy to talk about the commercialization of the combine itself. And also, we need to get those ladies at the Laurel concession stand to make cheeseburgers for everybody. Because them cheeseburgers in aluminum foil, boy, I don't know what it is. I don't need no condiments, bruh. I don't need no condiments. Just give me straight cheeseburger. Laurel High School. I'm good. Go ahead. Y'all can take it.
Well, I'll just say, you know, with wrestling, the problem that we have with it is we're going to the point where it's no long-term storytelling, but we're in a microwave age. Everything has to happen now. So long-term storytelling is not there. And I always say you got to go back to the way it was in the Attitude Era, where every show connected the dots. You talked about what happened on Shotgun Saturday Night on Sunday Night Heat. You talked about what happened on Sunday Night Heat on Monday Night Raw. You talked what happened on Monday Night Raw on SmackDown on Thursday. And it all continued. So if it was a fight in the backstage that went was going on as they went off air. You got the rest of it on Thursday, and the long-term storytelling was there. We don't have segments like Rudy Poo Bridge anymore. We don't have segments like Rudy Poo Bridge. What did that turned into? The Rock throwing the Smoking Skull belt off the bridge after he threw Stone Cold off the bridge. And then he comes into the ring, opens up the suit jacket. He got the Smoking Skull belt on. We don't even have the age of customized belts anymore. Every champion used to have a customized belt in some way. We don't have that anymore. We're losing the recipes. That's what it is. We're losing the recipes. And I think that's where you're having a problem with wrestling, because we're losing the recipes. I mean, it's just rinse and repeat sometimes. You evolve, but you rinse and repeat. And as far as the combine goes, I think the combine needed to be commercialized, because a lot of people say, oh man, he only ran this at the combine. But let me tell you something. It's guys that ran 4.5s and 4.6 at the combine, but they are one of the fastest players in the league. And it's guys that had great combine stats that didn't do anything in the league. So, I mean, the best part of the combine is watching the quarterbacks throw, but you know what that does? That exposes them not being able to really throw. Because if you're throwing in a simulated atmosphere and you got to throw a deep out, if you can't throw a deep out in a simulated atmosphere, what makes you think I can trust you to throw a deep out when I need a first down? You know, it's a lot to it. But I think this needs to be commercialized, because this is something else that's added as far as the film goes, and you can really scout players. This is just my opinion, me talking. So, gentlemen.
I say there's one thing on the wrestling. I know we got to move on from the wrestling. I'm not going to blame the storytelling on wrestling for the last couple of years of social media. That was a problem in early 2000s, because I felt like they got lazy and they depended on their top guys. It's easy to get Stone Cold to come out and save the day, or the Undertaker to come out, or one of your top. And I think they relied and leaned on that too. It's easy to bring Hogan out. You know, it's easy. And the development of their mid-tier and lower-tier people have suffered because of that. And that's always been an issue. I feel like that's always been an issue, especially early 2000s, mid 2000s. You know, you didn't build your guys up. You know, you got a couple guys that got into the elite ranks, but it was so much more storytelling that could have been done. So many more stories and angles that could have been, you know, pushed. But like I said, it's easy to go get The Rock to come back and do a little series and then go back and do movies. That's easy. It's not easy to go get somebody on the roster that's mid-tier and build them up and have them come and with a storyline to replace the people that are, you know, like The Rock, like Stone Cold, like The Undertaker. You got some great names in here, but it's just it's a top tier, and then it's a cliff that you fall off of to your death to get to the next set of wrestlers. And I think until they figure out how to close that gap and how to have a more robust intercontinental fight, you know, all your titles, you know, bring back the hardcore, you know, bring back stuff where, you know, you get some more interest in stuff. I know they're trying different things, but until they bridge that gap between the mid and then the top guys, it's kind of going to be what it is. So, KG, will you finish your combine talk?
Yeah, I'm good. I've watched a little bit, but I've been watching those Notre Dame players get it.
Of course you have.
So,
of course you have.
You know, you got to watch the best team in the lane.
Can you guys still see me? I'm looking at another screen.
Yeah, we still got you.
Okay. So, next gen stats for NFL, all positions. Only 3 people got elite rankings for the combine. That's Jeremiah Love, the highest running back out of Notre Dame, 94. Sonny Styles, of course. I talked about Sonny Styles Thursday night throwdown. He was showing out, linebacker out of Ohio State. He also got a 94. And somebody I'm surprised neither one of you guys spoke of, Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon, got a 93 elite score from the combine. Now, Rod, I'm gonna ask you this, man, because it's crazy. Matter of fact, before I ask you that, let me give you guys. I want to try to get some 40 times.
Who's 40 times you want?
Nah, I was just generalizing, just trying to figure out. Let's see here. Those are the grades. Hold on.
No, because this is the fastest class.
Yes.
Looking all the records from. I think the only record they didn't break was the quarterback 40 record. As a whole.
I got it. All right, so the QBs, your three fastest QBs, Reggie McNeil out of Texas A&M, 4.35. Taylor Green out of Arkansas, 4.36. This is all time. I don't want all time.
So let's stay there. Taylor Green. Taylor Green is he has an electric arm. I don't see him being taken in the first 2 days. But he is 6'6". He's an athlete. He has the highest
6'6",
vertical of a quarterback. He has one of the fastest 40s at 4.37. Like Taylor Green is an animal. His only problem is his pocket presence and his ability to throw on time. So I mean, like
Ryder, before you go breaking down, let me give you. I'm going to give the top 3 positions 40s for positions that matter. So coming in second is Haynes King out of Georgia Tech. He ran a 4.46, and Cole Payton comes in third, North Dakota State at 4.56. Of course, we go to the running back, Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas, 4.33. Jeremiah Love is behind him at 4.36, and Damon Claiborne out of Wake Forest, 4.37. You go to your wide receivers, Brennan Thompson out of Mississippi State, 4.26. Second, Xavier Thomas out of LSU, 4.28. Deion Burks, Oklahoma, third with 4.30. And like I said, I already mentioned his name, the top tight end. I think he's going to be a bracket buster because of his combine performance, which makes me eat my words what I said Thursday. If I was a first round guy, I wouldn't even come. Kenyon Sadiq, 4.39. Kenyon Sadiq, ladies and gentlemen, is 6'3", 241 pounds. Just want to let you know that. The second tight end is R.J. Maryland out of SMU. He ran a 4.51. Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, also 4.51. Let's go to the defensive line. Like I said,
can I interrupt you real quick?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, so let's go back to the tight end. So you started with Kenyon Sadiq.
Yep.
Kenyon Sadiq probably put on the performance better than any wide receiver. Probably in the not combine history, but he's put up probably a top 5.
It's up there. It's up there. And that's why I said I think he's gonna bust some brackets. Like that's eye popping. Like you know, 6'3", you could be that fast. Are we talking about what's his NFL comparison? Do I dare say Shannon Sharp type?
No. His comparison is if we going to just compare him to tight ends, he'd be a Vernon Davis comparison. If we're going to compare him to a wide receiver, we'd put him in the lane of a Julio Jones type of guy, because he the 40 he ran,
that's dangerous.
But that's the truth. That's the truth. Wow. What he ran is wide receiver, like elite wide receiver level. I think his broad jump is in the 11s. What we doing here? You know what I'm saying? In that thing. Hold on. Let's just some of these comments real quick before we go. Cause J Dub says
his broad jump was second at 11-1.
All right, hold on. I'm sorry. Let's go. Coach Powell said left my ass off. I'll let them know. He talking about the cheeseburgers at the ladies at the Laurel stand. J Dub, hey, what's up, J Dub? Good morning to everyone. Let's go, Indy. Let's get a national title this year, of course. How did Notre Dame do in the playoffs?
That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Well, that's all I want to know.
Tim Watkins, all I want to know is how did BYU do in the playoffs?
And BJ, how did Maryland do in the playoffs?
I never spoke of Maryland. I'm not talking about any Maryland people. I didn't say Maryland was the best team. I just want to know what Notre Dame did in the playoffs. That's all I want to
know. So then J-Dub says that it happens every once in a while, but it won't happen again this year. Coach Paul says, man, listen, if KG starts showing up to workouts on Tuesdays and Thursdays, his plays are going up to 15 plays. Spartans, baby, 300.
Oh, all right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Tim Watkins says, all that combine talk means some guys grade really high and are still shit when they get to the football field. And then Day says Puka ran a 4.5. JSN ran a 4.48. 40s are overrated.
What do we talk about Thursday? Tape versus time.
Yep.
Tape versus time. Because you can't let look, don't get me wrong. A physical specimen is a physical specimen. But when you go look at the tape, were you doing this against competition on your level? Not no FCS team that y'all played in week 3 and y'all blew out by 70 points. When you played the top 20 teams, when you played guys comparable in their position, top 3, top 5 in this draft, what were your stats? What did you do? Did you get manhandled? Did you have an 8-catch game? What did you do? Well, you know what I'm saying? How would you? That's where it has to match, because the tape can be here in your time in combine. That ain't meeting. That's a big gap. But we talking about they here. Like Sonny Styles, we know what Sonny Styles was at Ohio State. He just came out and be like, yeah, I'm a freak too. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I can do this Ohio State at the top level, but I'm also a freak of nature, you know? So it still has to match up. These times are great. It looks great, but give me the tape.
I'm going to say something to you. And I felt that shade, you know, because it got a little dark in here because I felt that shade. It wasn't an FCS team. It was an ACC team. Thank you very much. Former Big East team that we put 70 up on. We beat them fan square. We play who's on our schedule. Don't get mad at us.
He's talking about Notre Dame. I was just talking about in general. See how these Notre Dame people are? I got 2 of them on them. They get all touchy and stuff. I was just saying in general, whether you're an Ohio State guy, whatever team you play for, your best tape can't be you guys beating an FCS school by 30, 40 or dominating. I'm not talking about Notre Dame. I'm talking about all the top 20 teams that have cupcakes on their schedule. Your highlight tape cannot come from that game. I need your highlight tape to come from the Ohio State Michigan game. I need your tape to come from Alabama LSU, Oklahoma Texas Tech, Oregon Michigan. I need that. I don't care what you did against North Dakota State or Maryland or San Diego State. I don't care about that, because those players on that team aren't on the same level as the players that we're talking about. These Oregon players, these Ohio State players, it ain't the same. So if I'm looking at the highlight tape when they pull that out on the combine, and I see them playing, Seat Pleasant State, and it's 15 people in the stands, that tape don't matter. That tape don't matter. I need to see what your demeanor is when you playing at the big house with 90 or 100,000 people calling you all types of names in a hostile environment, the damn stadium shaking. I need to see that tape, because do you go in a shell, or are you at your best then? That's what I need to see. I'm sorry for the rant. I'm turning back over to you guys.
I like what Tim said right here. Kyle Bowler, combine freaking NFL piece of shit. I remember when Kyle Bowler came out of Cal, and they was like, the kid can throw 60 yards from one knee. And he knelt down to the 50-yard line, threw the ball through the uprights. And I was like, that's amazing. But the man couldn't throw a quick slant to save his life. So I agree with that. And I love that comparison, because that let me know that I was looking at the wrong intangibles when it came to picking a quarterback. So
can I add one more thing in? I know my big mouth Midnight Rider talking about I'm the one to talk the most. No, that not even close, right? So look, you still have to match up the tape to the destination they're going to. The system still has to fit the player. And we keep seeing this. We keep seeing these franchises ruin quarterbacks because they don't have a system in place to fit this quarterback, or a system in place to fit this cornerback style, or to fit this linebacker been playing a certain way all through college, and you draft them and you want them to play completely different. Now it's a learning process to figure out how to play this way, whether you're a hand in the dirt guy or you a stand-up guy. That makes a big difference. You come from the left side, the right side, the middle. It makes a difference if you've been doing it your whole career. Some guys aren't flexible. Some guys, I need to play on the right side. That's where I'm comfortable at. And as a coach, a GM, if you're not identifying that and you bring this person into this, you're already putting them 2 or 3 steps back. We keep seeing this with teams every year. They bring these players in, and these players go by the wayside. Buffalo, the cornerback they drafted a couple years ago, Elam. How you miss that? How he don't fit into your system? You drafted him. There's no way you draft somebody and automatically they don't fit into your system. I can't take that. That's a failure at the GM, the scouts, and the coach to bring somebody in on any team. That's just like if you run RPO, if you're a heavy RPO college team and you bring a pocket quarterback pass in that can't run, what are you doing? You got 350-pound linemen, and you need those guys at about 270, 300 that's agile, that can move. That you need blocking receivers. You got all finesse receivers. You got guys that are 5'7", 160 trying to block on an RPO. When you need a guy that's about 6'2", they got a little bit of weight on them. So we talk about the failures of the players also, and I know I said we heavy on the tape versus time, but we also have to put in the failures of these franchises also. Now I'm gonna stop talking. I'm getting okay. I'm gonna walk away. I need to walk.
No, it's funny you say that, because there's a great line from a great philosopher that says, I'm gonna quote the great Marcus Aurelius. He says, your failures as a father. My faults as a father are your failures as a son. And I get what BJ's talking about. We talking about guys getting drafted and all this stuff, but what I'm gonna do, or I'm gonna try to do, is highlight some guys in this combine that made it make sense, and I think that they can have possibilities and options to go forward as pro players. We had probably one of the most athletic and one of the most dynamic combines from an athletic standpoint. We had some guys break some records. We had some guys just do some things. There's a wide receiver out of Connecticut, and I'm gonna tell you now because he's gonna be one of my guys. Skylar Bell, UConn, ran a 4.40. I think he's a KG. If you got your pen, just put his name down because I think he could be a guy that if he gets in the right system, maybe he plays slot for a Sean McVay team or Kevin O'Connell team, and he becomes something. But this is just one of those people that I believe can be a guy. BJ stole my thunder with Caden Sadiq. Caden Sadiq did a 11-1 broad jump, 43 vert, 4.3940. He's out of Oregon. Hey, you know what we gotta do? We gotta start throwing up the Chris Collinsworth meme. But here's a guy.
Now here's a guy
that's gonna, he's gonna make things happen. Another guy is the guy from Vanderbilt. We talked about him early in the year. I think me and Jack got into it about him. But Eli Stovers, he's a guy that did 11.3 broad jump, 45 vert, 4.51 at the tight end. 4.5140 as a tight end. Another guy, just showing you he an athlete. Taylor Green, quarterback out of Arkansas. So if you don't believe in his arm, he could be possibly your Terrell Pryor type of guy. He ran a 4.3640. He had a 43.5 vert, 11.2 broad jump. He has a cannon. He has an arm. But this is another guy that could just make things be simple and make the world spin on his axis.
That's the second time you said something. Second or third time you said something about Taylor Green. What does he need? What does he need to work on?
His issue as a quarterback is being able to process in the pocket. Like we talk about pocket passers and guys that can use the RPO type of stuff, but for him to be a quarterback, he has to be solid down in and down out as a passer. And I think that's where he struggles. Arkansas also doesn't have elite talent on the outside. So he doesn't have the possibility of like maybe being a top tier quarterback just from the people that are around him.
So you're saying that one is a project, but could this
I'm
be
saying one? I'll say this: 1, 2, and 3. He's a project. So he's a guy, and KG.
Here's a guy. You got to hold the U going into the Y a little longer, okay?
There is a guy. If he goes to the right system, and I think the one thing that we are not acknowledging is that we're getting to a point where almost 3/4 of this league is a Mike Shanahan / Kyle Shanahan offense because of the influences and the people that are getting hired. So we need to get this guy in in a place where he can learn from these guys, because he will make them relevant, or they will make him relevant, and get him to the place where he needs to be.
And that's what I was about to ask. Where do you think? Because the way you're talking about him, this is at least somebody that needs to sit and learn for at least 3 seasons.
Yes. He's not a. Oh gosh, go ahead, KG. Go ahead.
I was eviscerated for years when I said that about certain behind a veteran. You don't have time to do that because you only got a certain amount of time to see what the guys got. I got eviscerated for saying that, but this man says and gets praised.
No.
What are you doing?
You get eviscerated because you can't do that. We're talking about this kid as a not even getting picked. He's not going to get picked. He's going to get signed somewhere after the draft. You cannot do that, unless we're talking about he can make every throw on the field. You just got to work on his processing, to maybe he's a D and you got to get him up to a C. Okay, like the boy in Green Bay. What's the boy in Green Bay? The quarterback.
So Malik Willis or Jordan Love?
Jordan Love. He didn't come in and start right away.
Because you had Aaron Rodgers in front of him. Aaron Rodgers gave him the Brett Favre treatment.
And I get that, but you can have a situation where you might be able to have a quarterback on ice that's not quite ready, but is elite. He just needs a season or two. This guy we're talking about, he shouldn't get drafted. I'm not going to say that. I hope everybody get drafted, but he's probably not going to get drafted. He's going to be a free agent. But his agent and him need to do their due diligence. Like Midnight Rider said, you need to go to somewhere under the Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, somebody's tree where they can teach you. This is why everybody's running to San Francisco. Everybody's running the coordinators, LA and San Francisco. The last couple of years, and I'm probably missing another team. The coordinators, because what happens when you coach in under Kyle Shanahan or not McVay for 2 or 3 seasons? You get a head coaching job. You got Mac Jones out there at San Francisco. He doesn't look like the same Mac Jones that was in New England. He definitely looks better. It looks a little bit better. So if you can get somewhere where you can learn, you might have a shot. But he's a project. The arm, you can't replace arm talent. But if you can get somewhere that teaches you how to process what you're seeing, and then like Midnight Rider said, with that quarterback not having elite talent on the outside, it's like, talent on that outside means something. If you don't have nobody to throw the ball to, you're gonna look bad, and vice versa. If you got elite talent on the outside and you don't have nobody to throw you the ball, I can't really see what you got. I got to kind of give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, he got elite. This is where your tape going to come in. Your time is going to come in. All right, okay, he got the time. He got the time as somebody that would or had the elite arm talent in college, but he didn't have it. So where's he going to fall? Type thing. So,
KG?
I believe that any quarterback that is drafted, I'll say mid-second round to undrafted, should not be seen as the starter. I mean, you got your rare instances. What was Russell Wilson was a 4th round draft pick, and he came in and won the starting job, but he didn't have really any competition. But I don't think that any quarterback should have. I mean, even your first rounders. I mean, you expect these guys to start, but I don't think that they should be starting day one. I think they got to earn that starting role. I don't think they should be inserted as the saviors of the franchise. Like with Jaden Daniels, I love that he came in and he proved himself in training camp. He looked good. He wasn't given the starting job as soon as he was drafted. We've seen that happen in DC quite a few times. Heath Schuler was given the keys immediately. I would have said Haskins was, but Haskins wasn't given the keys immediately. You know, you got guys that are given the keys immediately, and they shouldn't be.
And you make a great point. We got two comments that go into that point and what I was about to say. Where the last comment we left off at?
We were still talking college.
Kyle Bowler, Combine Freak.
Okay.
The last comment we hit.
Notre Dame versus Navy for the last 175 years, and that's a good win for Notre Dame every year, by the way. What is Notre Dame record versus Navy?
Oh boy.
Look, I'm not giving it to y'all. I'm just gonna keep going through the comments.
No, I'm gonna say this. Hold on.
No. Just skip past this because this is trolling. This is trolling.
My receiver Dawson
KG, don't give in to the troll.
Penn State 4 years ago was ass, but did great at the combine. I wasn't impressed with his tape. So
I wasn't impressed with him at all.
Yeah, I wasn't impressed with his tape. So he did great at the combine, and they took a chance on him, and that failed. I'm not taking a project quarterback in the first or second, third round because those guys that are taking that high are taking up roster spots that are valuable. And that's what I'm saying about this kid Ryder's talking about. Don't draft them. You sign them after the fact and build them if you have a spot because you still got the practice squad and everything else. So Mac Jones, are you hightail it to the Patriots who wasted a first-round pick on his trash ass? I'm not saying he should have been picked, but here's the next comment that what I was about to say. Mo comes in, QBs don't get any time for development. Sam Darnold, Mac Jones, Daniel Jones all would have benefited from sitting a year or two. Most successful young QBs are mobile. Mo also said Haskins struggled because he's slow. He needed to sit and learn. And it is the thing because you watch what's the quarterback from New England name right now?
Drake May.
You watch Drake May come in with a competent coach that knows his limits, right? Knows his limits. Yeah, he threw out the gym this year. Yes, they had an easy schedule that allowed him to get some yardage and stuff, and they got exposed in the playoffs. He got exposed in the playoffs. But if you give you a year or two, depending on what you got at quarterback, you can afford it. But it is a win now league, unfortunately. But I'm not saying Mac Jones should have been taken there. But him being taken there and what you saw, what he did at New England versus kind of what he stepped in and did at San Francisco, you could tell he's grown. He needed more time. He needed somebody to kind of go through some stuff with him. Unfortunately for New England, they wasted a first-round pick. So I love New England wasting first-round picks. I know you talking to the wrong person. Pick somebody else this year that don't need to be taken in the first round.
No, I'm gonna say this to Mo. He said Haskins struggled because he's slow and he needed to sit and learn. Haskins didn't get the development, and the Midnight Rider already said he didn't get the development because he didn't get the nurturing from Jay Gruden because Jay Gruden never won it. When Jay Gruden got fired and Bill Callahan took over, you saw a different kid.
Yeah, you saw a kid that handed the ball off to the running back because Bill Callahan didn't want nothing to do with him either.
Bill Callahan actually worked with him. He worked with him, gave him first team reps.
He worked with him. Hey, left, right, hand the ball off. There's no passing game advances that Bill Callahan worked on with this kid.
I was at his
hand the ball off. I don't know what I don't even know why we here.
Because I'm always gonna take it here.
Why are we doing this? You can't but taking selfies with the fans with the Detroit people after you won the ball game. Like, what are we doing here, KG?
Again, I was at that game. When I tell you he passed the eye test, he played a fucking great game.
Okay.
A great game. Matter of fact, I think that's not the last one. But that's game
not the only one. No, I'm joking.
That game right there, he 13 to 29, 156.
Say that again.
Topic.
Say that again. What was it?
He was 13 to 29. But it was a lot of drop passes.
13 to 29. That's
That
not even
wasn't all on him.
500.
That was a
What
lot
are
of
we
drop
talking
passes.
about? Oh,
He passed the eye test.
the eye test. Yeah, that eye test must come with a walking stick.
Let's just say I was a huge fan of the kid, and I wanted to see him succeed. So
that eye test come with a baby. Can you grab my arm so we can cross the street?
moving on.
Come on, what we doing here, man? Like, all right,
I think we're gonna have to tune the AI for this show. Once it detects certain words, it just cut the broadcast off.
Yo, all right, real quick. A couple guys or a couple people that stood out to me in this combine. There's a kid from Toledo, McNeil Warren is his last name.
He
ran a 4.5. He's from Toledo. He gives me vibes of a true like single high safety. From the combine, this is the fastest D-line, LB, and I think it's also the fastest safety group that we have. There's a couple kids that stuck out from the tight end group. John Michael Gullenberg, RJ Maryland from SMU. RJ Maryland is also the son of Russell Maryland, so that might make some sense. There's a kid named Riley Norakowski from Indiana. He's a fullback / tight end. That kid is going to be something of relevance. We talked about Sonny Styles, and I think the only bad part about Sonny Styles, to be honest, is he made Arvell Reese look human. Jacob Rodriguez running 4.58 in his 40, so that's another kid we want to look out for. Running backs wise, kid from Arkansas, Mike Washington, ran a 4.33.
Yep.
Kid that I know we talk about my guy, Mr. Love on a regular basis, but Jadamian Price ran a 4.5 from Notre Dame. His comp is Tony Pollard. I don't see that. I think he's a little bit better than that. But he's one of those kids that in this current nature of the way we do kickoffs, I think he's going to be a problem and be an issue, and he can make things happen. Robert Hemby, the kid from Maryland that transferred to Indiana, he ran a 4.55. Jan Miller, kid from Alabama, his only problem is he has a durability issue and not an availability issue. Another kid, Adam Randall, he ran a 4.51 from Clemson. He's 6'3", 35. He used to be a receiver. He's another kid that, like, I don't know what you're looking for, but he could be a little bit of everything. Quarterback wise, we talked about Taylor Green, so I ain't gonna talk about that anymore. Wide receiver wise, Chris Brazel, kid from Tennessee, ran a 4.37. Only thing about him is, as a person, I don't like Tennessee wide receivers because they don't run the whole tree. Zachariah Branch from Georgia ran a 4.42. Kevin Coleman, kid out of Mizzou, ran a 4.50. Omar Cooper from Indiana ran a 4.47. To me, my comp is more what's his name? Debo than anybody else. Bryce Lance, brother of Trey Lance, ran a 4.34. Oh, Brennan Thompson, kid ran 4.26 out of Mississippi State, but he's only like 5'9" and 120. I mean 176. So that's a problem. Scholar Bill from I forgot what school Scholar Bill is from. He runs a 4.40, but he looks like a slot, plays like a slot, is a slot. That's all I got in terms of players and all that stuff. Three Amigos. Damn, I forgot what those games.
I got one more draft, and it's specifically for you two guys. Yeah, and y'all haven't said anything about it. What does Jadarian Price fit in as far as we talking about draft?
Dude, that's crazy. So, and maybe we skip the Three Amigos and just go to the end because we're at an hour and some change. But Jadarian Price, to me, is the perfect pick for the Commanders. Third round, but I don't think he makes it to the third round. And the reason I don't think he makes it to the third round is the kid is just as good of a running back as Love as anybody else. But the problem is he spent his time behind Jeremiah Love. So like he's almost like the afterthought. For the way the Commanders handle kickoff returns, I think, like, honestly, if they could hit a home run with their third round pick, and if he's on the board, he's the guy. And we're gonna go Chris Collinsworth. Now here's the guy. I think he would make all the sense in the world for them at the number 3 pick. That way you get somebody that you don't have to worry about like what his future is and all that other stuff. You just know he can benefit you in multiple facets. And we've already seen them with Luke McCaffrey have this thing and be successful with kick returns. And if you can get a guy that's a little more explosive, a little more I think it makes sense, man. So really, honestly, I tell you now, I think they're third. Like I've taken him as long as he's been available as my pick in the third round for the Commanders in any mock draft I've done.
KG, you got any thoughts on
I didn't like the comp of Tony Pollard because I don't think he's a Tony Pollard guy. I think he's more of a power back. He has a little bit more thump than Tony Pollard ever had. And even though he sat behind Jeremiah Love, him and God, I can't think of the other one. Young. We had a lot of running backs in our running back room that were just awesome. But all of them brought something different to the table. So you had 4 or 5 running backs on that roster last season that really got it done. But he was one of the ones that when he came in, he could be a short yardage back, but he could also be a home run hitter. And if he got out in the open, it was over. But I would love to see him and Bill in the backfield together because it's like pick your poison. It's almost like a thunder and lightning combo, which they had in New York. You had it in Jacksonville with Greg Jones and Maurice Jones-Drew. You know, it's a lot. But if we can get him in Washington, we might have 2,000-yard rush for the first time ever in D.C. Just my thoughts.
Okay. I just wanted to get y'all opinion on the other Notre Dame running back real quick. I think we need to wrap this thing up, fellas. Get to a couple more comments. I think this is Mo talking about Haskins. The fact that Greedy wasn't wanted by the organization, but he wasn't ready. He needed to see wide receivers open instead of anticipating. My biggest gripe with him. Timothy Watkins, Drake May was NFL ready this year. quarterback that is going to be a good player is Mendoza, and Ty Simpson is ass. He was asking, do you have the 40 time for Notre Dame's 5th string running back?
That's just him being this jackass.
I thought Branch would be fast. He plays like a 4.2 something guy. I think he ran a 4.35, 4.3 something.
I thought he would be way faster. I mean, now he's a fast guy, but video game standard, I think he was like a 97, 98 speed. So
yeah, I think he was 99, 99, buddy.
Yeah, but I mean, I burned him with y'all and won a championship, so I would know.
It's okay. Timothy Watkins again. Why don't everyone just draft a Notre Dame player and watch him turn out to be ass? All right. So on that note,
so what we could do is we could draft all BYU players that nobody knows about, and let them just shit the bed, because Mormons ain't Norman. So yeah. Oh my God.
we're gonna wrap this up. We are 16 minutes over on the Sunday Rides. We appreciate everybody joining us this morning. The collection plate will be going around after the stream ends, so please make sure you donate. Please make sure you donate if you enjoyed today's sermon. Okay, I'm the Boss B. That is the Midnight Rider, and our show's producer, the big guy KG. We do overtime every show. We're gonna stop disrespecting that saying. We do overtime every show. We out of here. Y'all have a good Sunday.
All right.
Peace.